Hey guys, today we're looking at the Mark 11 Mod 0 in Battlefield 4 and maybe learning something new about an old friend. The Mark 11 Mod 0. Now this is a weapon we can sit down and talk about. So to do that, we need to realize that the Mark 11 is just a designation that the US Navy gave to this weapon. You can't really find out its true history until you get its real name, which is the SR-25. And the reason I find this weapon so interesting is because it shares a relationship with the AR-15, something that everybody will recognize. But a weapon that not many people recognize, that actually came before the AR-15, that the AR-15 was actually designed from, is the AR-10. That's right, the AR-10 came first, and the difference being that the AR-10 fires the 7.62mm round and the AR-15 fires the 5.56, which at the time is what the military was looking for. Unfortunately, Armalite, which is the company that all these guys worked for when they designed these two weapon platforms, was going through some financial problems. They actually sold the rights to the AR-15 to Colt, who put it in for a contract for the military, and it is now known as the M16. But what happened to the AR-10? Well, long story short, one of the main guys that worked on these weapon platforms, especially the AR-10, was Eugene Stoner. We should recognize that name, right up there with John Garand and John Browning. He loved the AR-10, he took it with him to Knight's Armament. It is now known as the SR-25, which stands for Stoner Rifle. So the AR-10 was this guy's baby. He took it with him to a different company, made changes to it, and won a new government contract. In fact, it was picked up by the Navy SEALs in the early 1990s and first saw combat by U.S. Navy SEAL snipers in Somalia in 1993, and it's been used ever since. And I think really one of the selling points of the military, aside from the fact that it's an extremely accurate battle rifle when it's obviously in the right hands, but 60% of the parts are actually interchangeable with the M16s. So that's also a really great selling point for a military that already revolved around the M16 at the time. So it's an outstanding rifle, and it's no surprise that we see it in Battlefield 4. We saw it in Battlefield 3, same name, Mark 11 Mod 0. We saw it in Homefront, we saw it in Ghost Recon, we saw it in Spec Ops, Splinter Cell, it's been in Arma 2, Medal of Honor. This thing has been around for a long time, and we've seen it in games, we've seen it in movies, and I think it's still going to be around for a long time. I know they're talking about replacing it with the M110 system. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's a lot like this rifle, but they're trying to increase the commonality even further with other weapon systems in the military, particularly the M16. So they're trying to make more of the parts similar, trying to improve the accuracy, and I think it's just kind of the evolution of this platform. So I don't think it's a complete replacement. They're just kind of giving it a different name because it's evolved so much. You see that a lot in the military. So as far as taking all these aspects and kind of seeing what the developers had in mind when they put this gun in the game, I think it's very similar to what they had in mind with Battlefield 3. It's your traditional battle rifle. It's meant to keep the enemy at arm's length, keep them away from you, but it doesn't necessarily perform all that bad in close quarters. I think the RFB is more geared to close quarters, it being a bullpup and all, and this is more of your traditional battle rifle. I think those who liked it in Battlefield 3, they're going to like it in Battlefield 4, and it's not going to bring any real new surprises to it. I know personally I can't wait to put a holographic on these DMRs, really get in close and see how they perform as battle rifles, but that's not really something available in the beta right now. Better be in full release. I better be able to put a holographic on this thing right now, because it's no sniper rifle. You know, you hit hit marker after hit marker. It doesn't perform like the bolt action rifles do. You're not going to get the same damage. A lot of people are upset about that. You know, they all do fire the same caliber. The sniper rifles all fire the 7.62 by 51mm NATO round. The DMRs all fire the 7.62 round. They should do the same damage. Not necessarily the case. I think the way Battlefield has it in mind, the bolt action rifles are going to be more accurate, which they are, both in real life if you ask me, and in the game, and they kind of translate that extra accuracy as more damage, as in it's more concentrated, if that makes sense. That may not be the case in real life, but it's a game and you got to have balance. In any case, I hope you guys learned a little something about the SR-25, where it came from, why the developers thought it was a relevant weapon to put into the game, and kind of where the platform is headed as a whole. I think that's really interesting. Who knows, in Battlefield 7, it might be known as the M110, and we're kind of going to be looking at a completely evolved weapon. Who knows? It's really exciting. You should really keep up with this stuff in real life if it's a passion of yours, or if it's something that you use for hours on end in the game. I think it's really interesting. I think a lot of you guys think it is too. That's all I have for this video, guys. This is Sergeant Merrill, out here.